It is the SMT Media Network. We've got an NBA video for you here today. This one on the Cleveland Cavaliers. They fall to the Indiana Pacers. Score of 108-93. This game was a complete tale of two halves. I mean, my goodness, what a difference a half could make. All right, so here's what happened, right? The Cavs losing by double digits by 15 points. The game was sort of close at moments within the fourth quarter, where the Cavs seemed like they were trying to make a run. They got a couple of buckets, they got a couple of stops, a couple of steals. But then like the Pacers came back, scored, and then the Cavs missed, and then the Pacers scored. I mean, it really was a tale of two halves. It seemed like the Cavs just ran out of steam, right? So the Cavs, they were actually up at halftime, a pretty sizable amount, but the third quarter, the Pacers came out guns a-blazing, and then they closed out strong in the fourth quarter. The Cavs fall to 33-5. The Pacers move up in the rankings there with a win, 22-18. So when I'm looking at, some of the things from the game, right, as a team, the Pacers shot a much better percentage from field goals. The Cavs shot poorly from three, just a tick under 27%. Free throws, not really a big difference between the Cavs and the Pacers in terms of trips to the line. You didn't see the same offensive rebounds that the Cavs typically get. In fact, the Pacers were +3 in that particular statistic. Total rebounds, that went to the Pacers. The assists, the Pacers were actually the ones moving the ball better tonight, right? Defensively, I thought the Pacers had better intensity. They had the steals, they had the blocks. Turnovers, the Pacers took care of the ball better. The Cavs had 3 more turnovers. When it came to points in the paint, it was the Pacers again. So all the things that the Cavs typically do well in, it was actually the Pacers doing them tonight. And then when I look at some of the individual efforts, right, I'm looking at some of the nice performances from the Pacers. I want to give credit to Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, and Nembhard did a pretty good job too. They did really well, and then off the bench, Obi Toppin gave you a little bit, and so did Thomas Bryant. So I'm looking at this game, and I see the way the Cavs played, and the Cavs are a much better team than the Pacers, but the Pacers just brought it today, right? The Cavs underwhelmed. You didn't get much out of Dean Wade today. He was in the starting lineup, didn't do much for you. Evan Mobley gave you 16 points. He had I believe 12 rebounds. Right, so he was active. He impacted the game. He got 11 from Jared Allen. He was pretty well balanced with respect to stats. But, I'm looking at Donovan Mitchell. He got you 19. Darius Garland got you 20. You got enough from your starters to be competitive in the game, and I think that's what you saw. The struggle for the Cavs, you didn't get much from your bench. That's where things really kind of fall apart. So Niang gave you 7. Okoro gave you 3. Karis LeVert got you 2. Max Strus, 3 points. Sam Merrill back. He played 12 minutes after being injured. Only 3 points. Your bench didn't give you much. So I think what ended up happening in most games, Ty Jerome is coming in and giving you some quality minutes and running the show. He wasn't available tonight, right? He didn't play. So probably had something to do with the second line kind of being out of sync, right? And, the starters played their normal allotment of minutes. Mobley, 31 minutes. Jared Allen, 25. Darius Garland, 29. Donovan, 31. That's very typical. The things fall apart when you look at the bench performance. And that's where I think the Pacers were able to kind of solidify their performance by getting something off of the bench, right? Wallace got you 8. Some of these guys who are normally bit players actually got you some productivity, but Tyrese Halliburton only got you 2 points. You weren't even killed by their best player, right? Well, arguably their best player. Some people might disagree, but look, the Cavs got outplayed tonight. The Cavs bench specifically got outplayed tonight. The Pacers did a nice job. They took the fight to the Cavs. They outplayed them in the second half, and now what you have is you're going to need the Cavs to come back, regroup after this loss. I think this is a bad loss. It's not a good look, right? The Cavs hold themselves to a higher standard than this. We're used to them playing better, so it's just one of those things where you're kind of like, if you're Kenny Atkinson, you're moving on, right? Their next game is against the Pacers, I believe, on Tuesday. So they're going to get the day off tomorrow, and then they're going to travel over to Indiana and play the Pacers in a rematch. We'll see if they make some adjustments. Maybe, a couple of guys are available. I think the Ty Jerome piece is important. He's got to be available. I'm not sure if he was out because of maintenance or if he was out with an injury, so I'll have to check the report. And then after that, they're going on the road to play the Thunder on Thursday. So this is a big week for the Cavs in terms of that matchup. But that's my take on it. I don't think there's anything to look into. It's just a bad loss. I don't think the Pacers are better than the Cavs or anything like that. I don't think the Cavs are falling apart. Just an underwhelming performance from the Cavs. But definitely a stinker, and they'll look to bounce back against the Pacers on Tuesday night.